Oh, hey y'all, Fatty here, and welcome back to the Dehydrated Veggies in a Cup Noodle. And today I am bringing you the full Crystal Wyvern guide for the new map, Crystal Isles. And let's not waste any time and just jump into it. So in this guide, we are going to definitely cover the location, taming, the traps, breeding, what to do with alphas, and primal crystals, all in that order for this video. So we're going to first jump into the three different types of wyverns that they have on this map. Now you're going to have your tropical wyverns, which are going to be kind of the water-based dinos. They have a water breath attack that does some damage over time when you are, engaging enemies. You're also going to get a water buff just like the Spinos do. So you actually have to physically touch the water, which can be a little bit more difficult when you're on a flyer. But when you do, you're going to get that buff. The next kind is going to be the Blood Wyvern, and this one is going to have a health drain instead of, the usual like breath attack, kind of like the tropical wyverns have, the water attack. Fire wyverns have the fire, poison, has the gas, and lightning have lightning. This one actually has the blood, like health steal, so you're gonna like kind of shoot out this like red vine thing at them, and it's gonna give you health instead. And the final one is going to be the Ember one. And now this one, I played around with it a little bit. I haven't really seen much difference of this one than the Fire Wyvern. So it's just kind of basically your basic wyvern in my opinion. But those are going to be the three types that you're going to find just kind of roaming around the map. So when it comes to the wyverns and actually how you obtain them, it's very different from any other wyverns in the previous maps or anything like that. There are really no eggs involved. There's nothing having to go find a nest to grab them, raise them, to just get your very own for the first one. They are actually a passive tame, so you just have to go find them and then, feed them some crystal. But we'll get into that in a second. So for each one of these, there is a wider zone where you can find each individual type of wyvern. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show the map on the screen real quick for you guys, and then I'm going to show you just the blocks of the map where they can generally be found and the kind of range where they are, and then you guys can kind of go in those areas and find them for yourself. So with the tropical wyvern, you're looking at a latitude range of 50 to 90 on the map, going up and down, and then for longitude you're going to go to 10 through 30. So that's going to block off this big area of square. So anywhere within that range you can find tropical wyverns. Now they fly around frequently, so even if you can dino scan or something like that and you know where they are, they do move quite frequently, and especially if you are like feeding them, they'll get up and fly and just move on from there. So be watching out for that. With the blood ones, you're going to be able to find those with a latitude of 30 to 50 and a longitude of 20 to 70. Now this is kind of the more red, above the red area. This is kind of where the trees start to turn red, but also the ground's kind of like browner area on the map. That's where these ones will be located, and as well as the Ember, they're really located very similar in locations, so sometimes you can find them both in the same areas. But the Embers are going to be located from the latitude of 50 to 70, as well as a longitude of 50 to 70 as well. So it's a really nice little square there. Only really found in the areas where the trees are like bright red, and you can also find some of the lava and stuff like that, which really makes sense because they are the fire, the Ember dragons of those sorts as well. So when it comes time to actually taming these things, they're one of the more tricky, like tedious, daunting kind of ones to actually go about. Just because it is a passive tame, they like to travel quite a bit, and with it just being a passive flyer, that kind of just takes the difficulty or the expertness to actually get these guys up to the next level. So first off, you have to be level 65 to do it, kind of like the Megapithecus and stuff like that. You can't just get it, or Gigantopithecus, you can't get it just right off the bat. You actually have to be a certain level before you can do that, and that is 65. So when you actually are able to find them, I tried several different methods. I tried just following it around on the flyer, feeding it one, let it fly up in the sky, wait till it kind of lands, feed it again, and that took so long. It was kind of ridiculous. I didn't really want to bother even doing it, just because you never know where it's going to fly. Then you have to kind of land down and try to clear any of the dinos that are there, if there are any aggressive ones in the area, which a lot of times there are. Then when they actually do land, you have to try to feed up before they fly away and have to rinse and repeat. So that was awful. So the second round I went was doing the wyvern trap, and later on we are going to need to utilize the wyvern traps for the breeding aspect of it, but just trying to get this first one going so I could tame it, I was like, okay, maybe I could get it into a trap, aggro it, lead it in, and then maybe feed it there after it calmed down. And that trick does work. It's not a bad method if you're doing it solo. If you leave the area too far away, like if you try to get out of render distance and come back, the wyverns can kind of glitch through the behemoth gates that you need to use to do that, and it just doesn't really work very well. So what I really recommend doing is have at least 6 behemoth gates, Make sure they're all really close, just enough gaps so that you can run out from it. Aggro it in, leave it there, and just stand far back and just wait. You'll see it kind of getting angry and flying around. You know, if you wait about, I found 15 minutes usually does the trick. It will calm down and you can start feeding it crystal again. It's not a bad method. It's a little bit more tricky. I can't imagine that working great for official players. So not highly recommended. Later on, like I said, you're gonna need it for breeding. So utilizing this trap is gonna be good, but I don't think it's the best one for taming. Now, I got frustrated with this and I was like, okay, what can I do for taming? Like, aggroing it is really hard. It attacks you and, you know, it hurts you really bad if you try to go that method. Just kind of going the normal method of just following it around just sucks. It's just too much work. It's too much effort. It's kind of boring. I didn't like it. So what I found is that you can actually grapple right onto the backside of the wyvern and it's not going to aggro. Now, I don't know why when you actually hit it with the grappling hook, it doesn't immediately just get aggro and chase you down and just wipe you off the face of the earth, but it doesn't. And the best part is, as soon as you feed it the crystal that you need, it is going to immediately fly away and then just be gone. So if you have all the crystal that you need and you have some food, some water, you can grapple onto it and you can just hang off of it. And you can even feed it when it's still in midair and stuff. So you're never going to miss that timer prompt. So it's going to be literally the fastest way you can tame it possible by any method. And I haven't seen this method around yet, so I would really highly recommend it. You know, just have a couple grapples on you. Grapples, make sure you have parachute, food, water, as well as crystal. And besides just the regular crystals, we're going to get into the other things that you need to faster tame it. So the next big chunk of this guide is going to be the breeding, alphas, and primal crystals, and they all really tie into together. So the best method for taming them is going to be these primal crystals, and there's several different ways that you can go about to get them. But as well as breeding, you're going to need them for the primary food. So primal crystals, you can get them from a couple different methods. All are not going to be the easiest one. The best way to get them, and not the best way, but the most abundant way that you can get them without spending, you know, too much time or doing different methods, is just going to be going after the alpha crystal wyverns. Now, they're very rare spawn. When I was kind of testing this out on my single player, I dino wiped 10 times and never actually got it to spawn. As well as I looked online and I could not find for the life of me what to do or how to get to spawn in. So I'm going to leave the link in, or not the link, but the code down in the description of this video so you guys can spawn them in if you need to. Really all you need to do is, when you're looking at the BP character blueprint to spawn them in, the ones that have like the blood and the, I think it's WC for the tropical one and the ember ones, wherever it has that little defying mark, just take that out and put mega, and when you spawn that in, it'll actually spawn in the alpha version, and it's going to be the alpha blood wyvern for that one as well. They're really tough. You know, it's not something that you probably can do unless you have a lot of dinos ready to actually go after it, so it's not the most efficient method, or, you know, if you're on official method or official servers, it's going to be kind of quite difficult to do that as well, so I wouldn't recommend that as the best one. Now, what I was talking about earlier with the traps and breeding and whatnot, you can get these primal crystals from any crystal wyvern that you come across, male, female, doesn't matter. So just like when you were raising wyverns back on, you know, oh gosh, Ragnarok and Scorched Earth, you had to go around and put up those traps, just kind of like I showed you before, a couple behemoth gates, behemoth gates, and then 2 of the doors on either end to kind of allow one to fly in, close the gate, trap it in there. And you're going to need to knock them out to actually be able to harvest it. You know, when you do knock them out, just kind of like you used to open their inventory, if you just run up, you press E, you just kind of like take it from them. Kind of like you can scrape the giant whales in the ocean and stuff and get the fish meat off of them. That's all you need to do, and there is a recharge time. Now, when I was testing this out, I speeded my server up to 100 times and let it run for about 10 minutes, and they still never recharge, so I don't know exactly the time frame for them to recharge, or if you have to like despawn, get away. I could never really get that recharge time to go away, so you really only get 1 crystal per wyvern for any time frame. But it's a pretty efficient method, so if you find one, or you know where to have them, you just keep a couple of those traps in the general areas, so you can, you know, fly, trick one in real quick, knock it out, get one of those prime crystals, and then take it back to really hit home that taming and make it go that much faster. as well as breeding. Now, when it comes to breeding, all the wyverns are breedable. All the wyverns are breedable. You just have to have that specific type of wyvern. So you need 2 tropical, 2 blood, or 2 embers to actually breed. And the breeding is just very simple, straightforward, just like everything else. Put them on mating, they poop out an egg, you put the egg in a warm place, and you get a little baby. Now, I couldn't figure out for the longest time why I couldn't feed the baby. I tried meat, I tried crystal, and nothing was really working. And that's when I tried the prime crystal, and that's the only food babies will eat. So just kind of like the milk for the wyverns, you have to have that special food, and it really involves either taking down an alpha or, like I said, knocking out those male females to breed them. Oh, hey y'all, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys made it this far through the video, thank you so much. Don't forget to check out all my other Crystal Isle playlists. As well, I've got a couple Call of Duty videos coming up and coming out right now, as well as just a bunch of other art content, some Let's Plays, and a bunch of how-tos. So if you haven't already, go check those out, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.